All right, here we go. KIEE, the Superstation 88.3. Yours truly in the building, Joe Dupree, the Joe Dupree radio show. Doing it big on the Superstation, and I would not be doing it big if I didn't have a great guest in the studio today that we're going to start talking about some community issues, because I remember the time. I don't know about y'all, but I remember the time. So Dr. Chris Williams in the building. Dr. Williams, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well, brother Dupree. Good to be here in the studio with you today.
So look, man, let's talk about what's really going on in our communities, what's going on the scene. Lot happening. Everybody talking about since the last time we saw each other on the radio.
Yes.
We done had Roe v. Wade get overturned. We done had numerous acts of gun violence, mass shootings. Well, we really need to get into the conversation of, man, what's really going on?
Yes.
And then we got local things going on right here in our local community of Lafayette. So talk to me, brother, what we got going on.
Absolutely. Just glad to be here in the studio and talk about what's happening in our community, but also come up with some solutions on how we can address many of the things that ills not only our community, but that's going on throughout the state of Louisiana and this country. And so you just want to kind of start off with a couple of things that you mentioned, the Roe v. Wade decision on the national level. We know that from a medical standpoint, that Black and brown people don't have the same outcomes as it relates to their health care experience. Correct. So our mortality, regardless of what Senator Cassidy said, our Black mortality rate for mothers is a tragedy.
Hold it. What did Senator Cassidy
So basically what Senator Cassidy said was that if you take Black women in Louisiana out of the mortality rate when they're having children, if you take that out, the state is doing pretty good.
So in other words, we just don't look at the Black and brown folks. We just need to look at the others.
That's right.
And as long as the others are not dying on the table while giving childbirth, everything's okay.
Everything's okay.
And y'all want to elect people like that into office. Listen, family, I say this constantly. I can't tell you who to vote for, how to vote. But you need to start paying attention on who you put in office.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, the reason Roe v. Wade got turned in the direction it did was because a lot of you didn't vote, and the individual who got voted in as president chose Supreme Court justices that have conservative views.
Absolutely. And it's going to affect our lives for decades to come. So voting is important. The second thing you mentioned is the gun violence that's going on in the community. Look, I live near a community in my neighborhood. The guys tell me, Dr. Chris, there's a blue car that comes here once or twice every 2 weeks, and he got everything we need. Look, there is an underground economy as it relates to weapons coming into our community.
Correct.
And the bottom line is that what you're going to begin to see, the way you saw in Lafayette, when the violence started happening downtown, within 60 days, they opened up a precinct in downtown Lafayette, right? So so if that's the case, we need to know what's going to happen with our law enforcement and our relationship with law enforcement. It seems like, Brother Joe, every time we take a step forward, we take two back. So we're looking at the videotape that was released about our brother and that got shot 60 plus times,
right?
Running away from police, right?
Correct.
And so we have to begin to understand these police encounters for what they are. Like the police chief of that community said, every officer who fired is going to have to explain every bullet that went through that chamber and explain that they felt an imminent threat. And all I'm saying here is that our relationship with law enforcement, let me tell you this. We need law enforcement. Law enforcement is necessary in this country, in this state, in our community. It's the relationship that the Black community have with law enforcement that's possible. Now, also, we have to be able to do what we need to do. The latest jargon is if you see something, say something.
Correct.
Sister got killed in her home last week.
Which was
shot up her home.
Which was tragic. Have folks say it really wasn't her or her family that was the target of the individuals who did what they did.
Was missing identity.
So family, we got to do better. And at the end of the day, we got to stop waiting for folks to put capes on.
Right.
Come into our community and go, da, 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 da,
that's right.
I'm here to save you.
That's right. That's right. And we got to, and so you see what we're talking about today, Brother Joe. I want to lead into this discussion. We often come on and we visit with you who keeps it real all the time, regardless of what platform you're on, whether you're in New Orleans at the Essence Festival, you're here in the studio, you're on social media, whatever platform you're on, you keep it real. I want to keep it real. We have these discussions, but what hasn't happened is for us to have a platform to have those discussions around the state. So we've launched Lead Louisiana. Lead Louisiana is a leadership. Lead Louisiana is a leadership program that is, we're going to have 25 to 30 cohorts that's going to start a program that's designed to not only discuss these issues, but come up with viable solutions. Because what's happening in our community now, our young and upcoming brothers and sisters are being inundated by groups that put their ideology into their head.
So true.
You cannot go through a leadership program through the Council for a Better Louisiana, because the Council for a Better Louisiana espouse a $7.25 minimum wage. They don't want workers' rights. They don't believe necessarily in criminal justice reform. So if you are going through that leadership program, you are being indoctrinated. You are being brainwashed to maintain the status quo. Lead Louisiana will give up and emerging leaders coming up in our community to hear from people like Brother Dupree, who's been on the battlefield, to hear from individuals like Dr. Theodore from UL. We're going to bring in Mark Morial from the Urban League. We're going to bring in leaders who will allow our participants to be trained and learn from an Afrocentric standpoint. So if you want more information about it, you can go to www.leadla, that's leadla.org. That's leadla.org, or you can call 337-501-7617. And I'll give it before the end of the show today. Brother, these are the things we have to begin to do. We have to be able to, when people like you put those questions in the universe and in our space, we got to be able to say, Brother Dupree, we have to have not only a discussion about it, but we have to come up with viable solutions
and mechanisms
that we can implement
to put us in a position where we win. I always say, look, I want everyone to win. Right. I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody. Right. At the end of the day, I know there's other people who have podcasts, who have talk shows, who have radio shows, who have media platforms. But why can we not all unite and continue to push forward the agenda that how do we all win? If you want to join in on the conversation, you can. 337-534-0036. That's 337-534-0036. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's Joe Dupree Radio. I'm here with Dr. Chris Williams, and we're having some great conversation about community issues. One of the things that we talk about constantly in our community is, of course, the ongoing violence with guns that seem to be, we have gotten numb to. Mm-hmm. There has been some shootings that have occurred that I honestly didn't even put a post up. I didn't even say, when are y'all going to put the guns down? Because it comes in such constant barrages. Every week, we're dealing with hearing about somebody in our geographical area who has died by gun violence of someone else. And then the sad thing about it is you have families mourning. You have then individuals who perpetrated the crimes who wind up being the individuals who get incarcerated. You have devastation with the youth. You have devastation with the elderly population. This gun violence, I don't know how we fix it. I don't know what we do. I don't have any answers. But we definitely need to start talking to ourselves, like Malcolm said, and ask ourselves the hard question. Who taught you to hate you to the point
hate yourself? That's right.
That we have to kill one another.
That's right. That's right. And it's about time, brother. In 1980, Ronald Reagan, who beat Jimmy Carter for president of the United States, came in. He announced his presidency in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Philadelphia, Mississippi is known for being a haven for the Ku Klux Klan. And so what happened was he sent a dog whistle throughout the country that I'm going to take things back. I'm going to roll things back. He falsely accused black women of misusing health help that is given through WIC and through food stamps and so forth. He demonized them through that mechanism. He came into play with more criminal justice laws that 3 strikes and you're out, and put people away for long periods of time for minor offenses. But also what he did was he made it fashionable. Ronald Reagan made it fashionable to hate against Black and brown people.
Wow.
And what happened with that tenor is that what we did, what he said is, it's okay for you to do you, right? You get all you can and let it trickle down from the top.
Correct.
Well, some of us bought into that. And what has happened is that since 1980, even in the Black community, we do not see, Brother Joe, brothers and sisters giving time to coach a baseball team, to coach a volleyball team, to coach a basketball team, to have any type of youth group, to join any type of social group that helps in the community. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. What I'm saying is that we have redefined what it is to be engaged and give back to our community of our time, our talents, and our treasures.
Correct.
And what's happened is that we are seeing now the results of that disinvestment that has taken place since 1980. We've had a drop off. So what we're calling on people to do is to go back and volunteer. Brown Park needs volunteers. Mr. Walter Guillory is doing a great job.
Right.
He has a lot of teams involved, but he needs more adults to be there. Whether it's the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, whether it's the Knights of Peter Claver, the Junior Knights, the Junior Daughters, whether it's your church youth group, or Tanya Bolden Ball has some great activities going, Tina Shelvin. We have great opportunities for people to give back. Brother Josh Edmond has some mentoring program for young men.
The 100.
The 100 is doing some
and we can name list of groups that go on
that's
and
right.
on. We can name the fraternities,
that's right,
the sororities. We can talk about the Masonic organization, the OES. At the end of the day, us as a people of color, we've got to come together.
Yes.
And we got to
give back to each other.
We got to get back to each other.
That's right.
Exactly what you just
without
said.
Expecting pay. And that's what happens.
Right.
When you volunteer, you have to be able to say, hey, what we want to do is give of this time, right? And that's what these young people need. They need the time. The young brothers that hang out at the car wash by my house, they need men to go and talk to them.
Correct.
To let them realize that that gun in their back pocket will not solve the issues that plague them. But young brother, go to Louisiana Technical College, go to SLCC, go get some training. There was a thing on Facebook the other day. Brother that works with Volt was with a young man that learned welding.
Correct.
And CDL. Correct. I will tell you, they will hire you in a short period of time. Go get that training. Most of that training is free. We're about to start a free CNA training, a free certified nursing assistant, a free certified medical assistant program. The opportunities are there. We have to get that information out to our brothers and sisters, but we also need them to take it up.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, as we come to our community segment and bring it to somewhat of a close, you can look at us on social media. We're all over the place. But family, you have to ask yourself this question. Look yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing to help make life better, not only for myself and my family, but for my community, for my street, for my city, for my state, for my country. I think many a times our problem is we're so caught up with me and mine, we don't understand if you get you and yours straight, but there's somebody out there being a hobgoblin trying to take from you and yours. You've got to look at it beyond just you and yours. We've got to start being concerned about the next man and their plight and their issue, because the individual you mentor might be that individual who had in a plan in their head to come break into your house, steal from you, take your life, or take one of your loved ones' life. But if you mentor them and direct them in a different direction, you literally take a player off the board that could have been an agent of evil, and you turn them into an agent of good. And we've got to, as men, I see women doing it all the time, but we as men have to step up and start mentoring these young men and young women, young children, period. We've got to start getting back to being good men in the community, great fathers, great mentors, and the ones who say, hold up, bro, you know that's not how we rock. That's not how you operate. I have 2 daughters. I literally asked one of my daughters, I said, well, how are you feeling? She said, Daddy, there's nothing out here.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me sad. I said, so there's not men raising men, preparing them to be good men for my daughter? What in the heck? Let me be cool. At the end of the day, family, we got to wake up.
We got to wake up. And so we depend on stations like KIE because it's not every place where we can go out and have these discussions. We take it for granted that we have these airways to do it on social media. I will tell you that, and Black media and the ability to be on this platform, to be on social media simultaneously, that's the platform.
I mean, we've got to listen. Chris and I talk about this all the time. I was just with Brother Roland Martin. God bless. Listen, y'all, go check out Roland's platform. As you know, on the way leaving from the 2022 Essence. Tragic accident, but no one got hurt.
Right.
But nevertheless, there was a lot of equipment, a lot of things of value that has to be replaced. That people like Roland Martin and his platform, which supports Black media, we have to be the controllers of our ship, like here at KIEE. A lot of y'all are listening to Black media that's not Black owned. So that means all we can do is play Black music and make you dance. Let me tell you something. It's more to life than making you dance.
That's right.
And I think folks right now with the Roe v. Wade situation figured it out, that you got to start putting people's feet to the fire when it comes down to garnishing and wanting your vote. What do you want? What are you going to deliver me for voting for you? Because many a times we deliver the Black vote, but we don't get nothing in return, at least as Black leaders. And I said this not too very long ago, and I don't want folks to be mad at me, but this is how I feel. It's my opinion. The reason we're in such a muck and the reason we are not getting anywhere is because our leaders, our Black leaders, are not leading. Period. That's my opinion. Now, I have folks who reach out to me, Chris, and say, then why don't you lead? Well, I'll say this. Y'all don't know that I have considered, because some folks have talked to me about running for some certain offices. I always often say I wouldn't run for dog catcher in the state of Louisiana. However, you never know what I might do, and you never know where the Lord might lead me.
That's right.
So listen, all I can say is the following. I'm going to do what I'm going to do from what God has given me to do it from. And these platforms, I try to get the information out. I try to disseminate it to my people where you can think and make a choice of what's best for you. I'm not telling you what to think or how to think, but I will give you the information and tell you where to go get the information where you can make the choice that's best for you. Because a choice that's best for me might not be the choice that's best for you. And what we've got to start doing is agreeing to disagree without falling out with each other.
That's right.
I'm sick and tired of seeing Black folks hate each other because you said there needs to be this in the lemon meringue pie, and I said that needs to be in the lemon meringue pie, and now we ain't talked for 10 years because I said put a little vanilla in the meringue pie, and you said no, we don't put vanilla in it. I understand tomato don't go in a gumbo. Okay, but that don't mean we need to not talk to one another. I mean, listen. We literally have Black folks who don't speak to one another over some of the most minute things.
That's right.
And right now, we don't need us to be disconnected. If anything, we need to be that beloved community you always talk about. That Dr. King talked about.
That's right.
Where we can begin to be our brothers and our sisters' keeper. Where we can uplift folks. You know, let me tell you something. Wealth looks different to different folks. We got to stop having Black folks jump into our community who are backed by white folks trying to tell us how they done made all this money when the truth about it is you made all this money because you had some white money back at you.
That's right.
Show us how to do it show us, as the kids say, how to get it out the mud. Show us how you did it without having to tap into those resources. Show me how you kept it 100% Black. Stop showing up making me feel like you the great Black crusader. When the truth about it is you a puppeteer for somebody who don't look like us, who just put you out there to gain more wealth really for them, because you really secretly work for the man.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's facts. That's
secretly you working for the man.
That's right.
Oh, you look like us. You talk like us. You show up in our communities and you maneuver with us, but behind closed doors, you in secret conversations trying to pick us off one at a time with the man. And the man has put you in a nice house, nice car, nice job position. He got you looking good, and now everybody says that's what I want to do. You know, a lot. I'm going to end this with this. You know, right now the spiritual evangelical black community is in an uproar over Creflo Dollar.
Oh yeah, oh yes.
That man spoke his truth. Only him and God know why he spoke his truth. But listen,
but refresh our audience on what Creflo said.
Well, Creflo kind of made it clear that he reviewed the teachings that he had been teaching, and he said my teachings were wrong. Listen, that's powerful when a man, because I've had to do that, Chris.
Yes.
I've had to get on these airways and say, family, who you thought I was, I wasn't.
Right.
Do you know how liberating that is?
Yes.
Do you know how much freedom that feels like? You know, it's nothing wrong with saying that you're wrong.
That's right.
And it's nothing wrong with saying this. Maybe what I've been feeding you that I thought was empowering you and actually bringing you to a place of wealth and prosperity was really killing you. See, if you go back and talk to your grandma and grandpa and them, if they really knew that the hog maws and some of that stuff that they were cooking with and the lard and all that was giving high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease, do you really think they would have fed it to you?
Exactly.
Do you think the people who love you would have fed you something that was literally killing you if they knew it was killing you?
No, they wouldn't.
I had to give Creflo some props.
Me too.
Creflo said, look, man, I re-looked at this. Me and God had a conversation, and I've been wrong.
Yes.
So you need to throw away everything.
That's right.
That I put out there to you.
And let's start anew.
From this day forward, I'm going to give you the real talk from what I know how it is. And guess what? Folk who are caught up in money, see, it's different between being rich and wealthy. I can have no money and be quite wealthy.
Absolutely.
I can be filthy rich and know nothing about wealth. See, because here's your problem. Y'all caught up in people seeing certain things and you being a certain way. See, let me tell you something. I can be the man on the street and be the most happiest man there is on this planet. Understand this. Everybody who got it and saying they got it didn't get it the right way. You don't know how many people they did in, talked about, lied about, how many people they backstabbed, and how many people they put totally out the game to get what they got.
That's right.
And listen, we got to stop looking up to certain folks saying, ooh, you somebody big and special, because you don't know how they got it.
That's right. You don't know how they got it, and you don't know what they're feeding you.
Right. Hold it. Driving a certain thing, living a certain way, wearing certain things don't mean you're blessed.
That's right. And brother, and see the discussion we just had, that's what we're going to do in Lead Louisiana. Lead Louisiana is going to be about having these discussions once a month, Brother Joe.
Come on.
We've been working on this for about 5 years.
Come on.
And it's been launched. We want everybody to go to www.leadla.org and find out about our program. Sister Skipper, you're absolutely right. Brother Nelson, you're absolutely right. So we're really excited about the fact that we're here on this platform to announce Lead Louisiana, because the discussion that Brother Joe and I just had is what we will get to our participants who are part of Lead Louisiana, and we will also arm them with the arguments necessary to go what and have that ideology when they're out there trying to change public policy, when they're out there running for political office, when they're out there ministering to a church, because we have to do, and what Creflo Dollar did, we have to do within our own political, social, and economic leaders have to do the same thing. We have to have a correction. We have to have a paradigm shift. And so it's really exciting to be here to talk about Lead Louisiana, to talk about the issues of today going on in our community. And I will tell you this, brother, when we recognize the fact that, and you said it earlier, we can't always be hating on each other. We have to work towards that beloved community, because a beloved community is what we have to aspire to do. When you have a beloved community, you won't trash your community. When you have a beloved community, you won't leave as best you can your dwellings and your properties to be in disrepair. When you have a beloved community, you will help the elderly. When you have a beloved community, you won't do anything that's going to hurt young people. When you have a beloved community, You will not hate your other brother and sister to the point where you have to shoot them. You have to shoot up their house. And it's incumbent upon the current leadership. We just spent $86 million in Lafayette, Louisiana for ARPA, the monies that came because of COVID. We didn't get
for President Biden. Hold on,
President Biden.
Oh, let me make it clear. That money came from the Democratic President Biden.
That's right.
Okay.
And so we did that, right? We got that rather. We got that. But my question is, how much of that go to Truman? How much of that go to Macomb Vise? How much of that went to Quiet Town? How much of that went to the quarters? How much of that went to the nonprofits that are owned and controlled by Black people? Black people was most affected by COVID than any other group because of our underlying issues, because of the economics and everything else. We should have got some of those resources. I'm not saying drainage isn't important, but there are more drainage projects on the books now that can be done in 10 years. And so when they fix all of their drainage, because the drainage problems that exist, Brother Joe, and the listening audience, the drainage problems that exist because shady developers went and built houses in sugarcane field and didn't put the correct drainage systems in. And now the government is doing what? Bailing them out.
Well, when you see that now with the class action lawsuit with some of the people who built the places.
Yes.
Now this is the
building
amazing thing.
Substandard housing.
Watch this. So I saw a lot of people who look like you and I. I'm gonna hold it. I got to get here. So if you're gonna be mad at me, because I'm gonna tell it like the TI is.
Yes.
I saw a lot of folks bragging and blowing smoke. Look at my big beautiful house. Your big beautiful house got mold, construction issues, and killing you.
That's right.
So look, we got to stop looking at the thing and look at the inside substance. I don't care how it look on the outside. Was it built right?
That's right.
See, our problem is we too busy looking at beautiful buildings that were built on bad foundations. And then we're asking ourselves why they're crumbling to the ground. Baby, I'd rather live in a hut built on the right foundation than to live in a skyscraper on a bad foundation, because the planes are coming. The planes are coming. And when they hit, we're going to know if you were built right or if you're not built right. I'm just saying. Now, some folks might say, "Ooh, what an analogy." You can call it what it is. The truth about the matter, Dr. Chris, is we got to wake up.
Yes, we do.
We got to wake up. We got a lot of great people out there. We got a lot of great organizations. The 100, the NAACP. We have the Coteries. We have
the nonprofits, the Plastic Creole.
Right. We have a lot of great sororities. Now, on the other side, let's call it. We got a lot of folk who look like us, who skin folk, who ain't our kinfolk.
That's right. That's right.
We got a lot of folk that behind closed doors, they hate Black folks more than white folks hate Black folks.
Who will grab the 2 bits, will grab the 2 bits and not care about our community.
Quick to tell you, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, they good people.
That's right.
They good. Yeah, they good people to you because they feeding you.
That's right.
See, we got too many Stevens and Stevenettes
that's right.
in our community who in love with Mr. Candy and Candyland.
That's right.
Well, baby, Django Unchained, I'm back on the radio now. So guess what? And nobody running in here talking about, what did you just say?
That's right.
We got to be unapologetically Black 24/7.
We do.
Because they are unapologetically whatever they are.
That's right.
Listen,
go ahead.
Before I go there, you hit that. I literally looked last night at the former president, 45, say they're murderers, rapists. They come in and they sell drugs. Some of them might be good people. Why can't we say that?
Yes.
See, I watched Rush Limbaugh for years desecrate my president, Barack Obama, because of the color of his skin. Had the audacity to question the actual gender of his wife.
That's right.
Beautiful Miss Michelle Obama, my first lady.
That's right.
And we sit there and allow that buffoonery and didn't do nothing. But if we say one thing,
that's right,
they come at them the wrong way, we get suspended.
That's right.
We getting taken to probation. Look, we say one thing out of order about them, then all hell breaks loose. You know why? Because Prince said it best. If you don't own your masters, your masters will own you.
Oh, that's powerful. That is powerful. That is powerful. And brother, what I was going to say, Brother Dupree, was that the very studio we in, the very foundation we in now, started by Father McKnight, Alfred McZeel, and all of the people that came and made this building take place. came with that ideology. And Brother Freeman and his team, Brother Charles, is keeping this concept alive. McKnight used to always ask us. He used to always tell us one thing. It's always about the economics. It always about, and so get your education and control the economics. Get your education and control the economics, because he said at the end of the day, it's about who owns and who controls. You just made a powerful statement. We own this. We ain't got nobody gonna come in the booth and talk about what we were talking about, because we own it. Not we got to be able to recognize, people, that owning whatever you have,
it's much different than managing.
Whether it's a 1970 car, come on, a 1950 house, a hut, like you said earlier, brother, but you own it.
It's yours,
as opposed to leasing it or
being
in somebody else's dwelling.
Right.
Because at any moment they can come up with any stipulation.
And change the rules. It's mine.
You didn't read this in the rental agreement. You were 6 days past due. You're due for eviction. You didn't read this in your mortgage. You were 1 month past due. We can now start you all over again. You lose all you could. They have rules. It is predatory, right? The predatory nature of what happens in this country is geared to maintain the status quo. And so what we do on Saturday mornings through your show and through other shows on KIE is we got to tell our brothers and sisters, we got to work toward that beloved community.
Right.
We got to be able to respect and love each other. I used to own a business, Brother Dupree, and we used to always try to instill in our employees, take pride in serving the brothers and sisters.
Come on.
And do this and do that.
And you did.
And I was based upon my dad and his partner and my mom, and but what I noticed at the end, brother, and I'm gonna just be totally frank, because we can be that in our space.
We can.
During the last few years of the business, people didn't take the pride in coming to work. They didn't take the customer service legitimately, right? And then, brother, I see those people a year or two later, and they're working at another establishment. And when I used to tell them, you got to have on a cap. Oh, it's hot. I ain't put no cap. They have the cap on at the other establishment, brother. When I tell them their uniforms need to be clean, oh, I didn't get a chance. But the uniforms are clean at the other establishment.
Right.
We got to be able to love and respect each other and support each other and do good for each other, because it's the right thing to do.
I'm going to end this on our social media feed, and we're getting ready to play some music, get back to getting ready really to get up out of here. Don't forget tonight, y'all, if you can make your way to the Hyman Center and you like some good music from old school, Confunction gonna be in the building. So
all right, now
check them out. Yeah. Love Strain and all that good stuff. Go check them out at the Hyman Center. But listen up, family. I'm going to end with this. I always tell y'all, normally when I used to get off of the radio station in the morning at another establishment, I used to tell you that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. Let me tell you this. First, put your trust in the Lord.
Yes.
Second, put your trust in yourself. Third, know that if those two people definitely trust in one another and knowing what they can do and can get done and know who they are and whom they are, you can do everything. Listen, it might take some time. It might not happen overnight. But at the end of the day, we have to start loving one another.
Yes.
We're going to have to start trusting one another. We're going to have to start supporting one another and building up one another. With that being said, let me get to a little music, a little Michael Jackson. Let's get up out of here. Yeah, a little Remember the Time. Let's get it. All right, family, look. I know we're still on social media. Where look, tell a friend to tell a friend, share this with a friend. I'm trying to work on some new stuff on my social media platform and bring y'all the information you need. I can't tell you how to think, what to think. I can't tell you who to vote for or how to vote. But family, you're gonna have to start researching situations for yourself and take out of those situations what's best for you and what's best for your family. And understand what might be best for you might not be best for others. But you got to first make sure that you okay. Because if I recall right, they have a little thing they say when you catch a flight. It says in case of an untimely decrease in pressure, there's going to be some things that's going to fall down. You need to put yours on first. Because if you ain't breathing, you can't help nobody else breathe. Listen, your vote is your voice, and your vote has power. And your voice has power. So listen, all I can tell you is get engaged, get involved, and go vote. Me and Chris, we out. I got to take us off the social media.
Right.
I'm gonna jump over here where
All
he's
right.
at. Believe it or
All
not,
right.
he wasn't that far
All
from
right.
me. He was in studio. But we out of here. Y'all
All
share
right.
this with a friend. We out. Peace. And I'm gonna end the broadcast, I think.
All right.